Welcome to the Primetime 585 podcast. I'm Karen Iglesia, co-founder of Primetime 585 in studio. They keep ganging up on me. I need to get some females up in here. I got some guests in studio. But before, let's introduce Julio Cruz, our best producer in the five. And I also got Noah Collins-Howard from Rush Henrietta. He got some news to share. He's our guest. And he's going to be talking to Coach Johnson, who's also in the studio. And of course, the luckiest man in Section 5. We got Coach Iglesia. He's lucky because he's married to me. Coach Iglesia, what's my biggest pet peeve?
Being late.
Yes, you can stop right there. Okay. Being late. See, 32 years, being late.
Yeah.
Why is
and
it
people
that,
thinking that you're stupid.
Well, I'm married to you. So, so I have a question. So why is it that you're late to everything? If you know that's my biggest pet peeve, why are you so exact?
Well, you think it's for me to piss you off.
Yes, it is. I'm convinced. I am convinced after 32 years, you know it gets under my skin. I'm going to tell Rashad a story real quick. So this was years ago. We're getting ready. We got an AAU game in Buffalo. Now, we live, everybody know, Buffalo's an hour away, right?
Yeah, no, we were at a hotel. We were at the hotel.
But I said to you, you're like, it's 12 minutes to get from the hotel to the game. 12 minutes. This bro came down exactly 12 minutes. Didn't give himself a 30-second buffer. I pulled the car around. I said, Gerard, what if we hit a train or something? What if we catch a train on the way to the game? We ain't gonna catch no train. We ain't never catch no train. Guess what we did? We caught a train. Since then, he only... Stop being so exact. That's my biggest pet peeve. He was so, even just to come to this show every Thursday, it's an argument. Gerard, we got to be ready.
I was ready today.
Today you were. I got to give you some credit. So after 32 years.
That's one in a row.
After 32 years, y'all, he get a cookie. You get a cookie. Noah Collins-Howard, do not be like this, okay? That's all I'm going to say.
He's too fast to be late.
That's true. So let's start off with some flag football. Gates.
I don't get a chance to
rebut me?
To say anything bad about you or anything?
You can't say anything bad about me. I'm perfect. What can you say bad about perfection? Go ahead.
I just wanted to say I'm lucky to be married to you.
Is it because it's Holy Thursday?
No.
Is it because it's Holy Thursday and tomorrow Good Friday?
It's because I said to you this week, babe, when are we going to renew our vows?
Are we going backwards?
And you said, no. The moment has passed.
Watch last week's podcast and you will get that joke. Watch last week's podcast, they will get that joke. Let's go to Gates versus Athena flag football, y'all. So can I talk about Anna Foreman, right? She is the quarterback. Mm-hmm.
For Greece Athena.
For Greece Athena, true athlete, right? She was 10 for 18, 116 yards. She had 2 touchdowns. She rushed 6, for 20 yards. But your girl is Brill Nicholson. Talk about Brill Nicholson, Gerard. That's your girl. Only a 9th grader.
Oh man, she's fast.
She's only a 9th grader.
She got a great change of direction. She carried the ball 11 times for 128 yards. And a touchdown.
She could hang with Noah.
Yeah.
She could hang with Noah. Emily Montigliano, though, 4 carries, 37 yards, 3 receptions, 56 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. I like her. Mm-hmm. She don't be playing with nobody on that football field.
Yeah.
And can I address flag football real quick? What I like about flag football, it started with 8 teams, now we're at 43 teams in Section 5. And I'm going to talk to Noah's segment. And can we just throw Noah in here real quick? To Julio we go. So Noah, flag football is a little bit different, right? So you're a football player. When you see these girls playing flag football, how impressive is that?
It's really impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Seeing the girls throw the football, catch the football, get the flag, it's really impressive to me. Seeing how fast some of these girls really are, it's really impressive, I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah.
Yeah, so see, we got a football person in the studio, so it's good to and I like when football guys come and support the flag football girls. Mm-hmm. That's kind of dope, and I want to get you on camera because I wanted to, because we started with 8 teams, Noah. No, we got 43 teams. And the teams that I think is a great equalizer in sports, right? Flag football, all you need is a flag and a football. right? And what I like is when it first started, a lot of the football guys were helping out with flag. The Monroe guys was helping the Monroe girls. A lot of that is going on. So I like that a lot. And as I said, it equalizes rural schools, suburban schools, city schools. It's just all you need is a flag and all you need is a football. And in the spring, as you know, there's not a lot except for track,
And
softball, and lacrosse. There's no other sports for girls available. And lacrosse, you have to be playing that from you're young. Softball, you got to be playing for that when you're young. And in the city, we don't have a lot of softball programs. So it's good to see that flag
or
is
lacrosse.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for track, and Coach Johnson can talk about that later on. For track, and your mic is hot. For track, Rashard, you can't just get up as a junior and say, I'm just going to go run 100, right?
Right. And I'm going to go run against Noah.
Okay, right. You
I think I could beat him.
I think I could beat him. So I'm glad that we got flag football and that Jen Lipinski of Section 5, she's now second in charge of Section 5, but she was the AD at Spencerport at the time. I'm glad we got that, and I really wanted to plug that because, it's, as I said, to me, it's one of the greatest equalizer in sports in Section 5, and the Bills and the Giants. And the Jets were the main people behind.
Really?
Yeah, they gave all these sections over $100,000 to start it 3 years ago. So it was the NFL that invested in flag football for girls. So that's why, and they're big about that.
And colleges are on it now.
Yeah.
Colleges are recruiting girls, and Brockport has a couple Section 5 girls. So
Yeah.
Roberts
And
Wesley.
Roberts Wesley got like
has
4 or 5.
yeah.
And
You've had girls going out of state to play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
flag.
one of my Williamson
girls. That was
Yeah.
one of his girls went to play flag football.
And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a D1 sport within the next year or two.
Yeah, they said
I
next
think
couple
it's
years.
NAIA Division 1
Yeah, right now.
So,
yeah. So I love it. So I just wanted to bring Noah on for that. Let's go on to some GLAC, some girls lacrosse. So anybody that knows me knows I love covering lacrosse. Lacrosse to me is just basketball with a stick. They set picks, there's pick and rolls, there's all kind of stuff. And the true athletes come out in that. So let's talk about Brighton versus HFL. This was covered by Anna Lemke, my girl on our
That's
youth
my
council.
girl,
That's
yeah.
Gerard's girl. Listen, Anna Lemke is related to the Lemkes, right? Kay Lemke played for you and
Yeah,
Mick
McClay,
years
yeah.
ago. So Anna's like third generation at this point of Lemkes that's been in our lives. So she's only a 10th grader at Brighton. So she's covering the McQuaid Brighton game as we speak now for the boys side. So she covered this game. Final score was 14-5 HFL. HFL got Harper Jacob.
Yeah. That
The
little
girl-
girl could play.
She ain't but 5 feet.
Yeah.
I don't think she's 5 feet, maybe 90 pounds. She bad though. The girl bad. She had 5 goals. And of course, I'm a big Shea Angelo fan. Everybody knows that in Section 5. She had 4 goals and 3 assists. She's a Duke commit. Yeah. The girl bad. Yeah. She D1 Duke commit. Right. And her brother attends Syracuse.
Yeah.
Plays lacrosse for Syracuse and had the winning goal.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
Hey.
this past week I shared it on my page. Drew Angelo
And
our
that's big time. Syracuse is really good.
big time.
Yeah.
Big time. So we are loving that connection. And Greta Goodberley had 2 goals.
Another good relay, huh?
Another Goodberley. The
Holy
brother
cow.
is on the team. The father is the coach. The mother is the assistant coach.
Wasn't there another brother who graduated
Yes,
already?
it's like the whole family.
Yeah.
And she's only an 8th grader.
Yeah.
She's only an 8th grader. Cameron McRae with 2 goals. McKinley Buckley with 1 goal and 2 assists. And for Brighton, Riley Lawrence finished off with 2 goals. HFL was leading 10-3 at the half. Harper, though, some milestones. Harper had her 100th career goal. And Shea Angelo had her 250th goal and her 100th assist. All in this game.
Wow.
So 3 milestones happened
Wow.
for them HFL girls. So congratulations, HFL.
I just wanted to say, I'm looking at the clips. I said, I wasn't at the game, but then you reminded me that
Anna,
she did a great job,
you
Anna.
trained Anna. You trained Anna. We out here doing child labor laws. We got these kids covering games. We're breaking some child labor laws. So that's part of being part of the youth council. Part of being part of the youth council is learning the strategy, how to cover sports. And that's her school. So she's giving her school love. Okay. So Rondequoit versus Mercy went on. We went to this particular game. Rondequoit, that's another school that got a multitude of siblings on this team. So the Buttiglier sisters, there's Ellie, I think she's the 11th grader. There's Grace. She's the 12th grader. And then there's Katie. So I think I got them right. But Grace is the senior. She had 5 goals and 1 assist this game. Ellie had 4 goals, and Kate, yes, Kate is the she's the 8th or 9th grader. She had 1 goal. So all 3 siblings are playing on the same
They scored
team.
10 goals.
10 goals altogether. And 2 of them, I think, plays basketball too. But they're just really good athletes. I asked in the interview, I said, who's the favorite? And I was joking. So Mrs. Battaglier, listen, I said, who's mom's favorite? And they all said, oh, it's Kate. And Kate was like, yeah, it's me. Lucy Whipple, though, she had 5 goals.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something what happened with her the game before? So Lucy Whipple, they were playing against Fairport, who's a very, very, very good team, right? It was tied, I believe, 8-8. Lucy Whipple had the winning goal the game before against a very good Fairport team who won, they're very good. So Lucy Whipple had 5 goals. Riley Cunlin with 1 goal. Charlotte Whipple, another sibling.
Yeah.
So Lucy and Charlotte is also a sibling. She's only a 7th grader. She a baby.
So the 2 families had 15 goals.
Yes. And Shannon Seymour with also a goal. And also Lucy Whipple does the draw controls. And she had 13 draw controls. And in lacrosse, for people that's just following lacrosse, draw controls are so important because if you don't have the ball, you can't score.
Yeah.
You can't score, you can't win. So draw controls. So having someone like Lucy Whipple doing the draw controls, and Ellie sometimes help her out, that's key. And Mercy fell to around the court. Mercy's good, but around the court, then they tough. For Mercy, Sydney Cook had 2 goals and 1 assist. Mia Quagrello, I used to say her name a lot, 1 goal. Angelina Borelli, 1 goal. And Maeve Shanahan also has a goal. So congratulations, around the court, huge win. They're still undefeated.
Did we mention Lila Villapek?
No. Oh, did I mention her? I didn't mention her. Well, did you?
Because I don't listen to you, so.
Oh, no, I didn't mention Lila. Lila had 2 goals and 1 assist. She's also related to the Velopek on the boys' side.
Yeah.
So I told you, this is like a family business. I find that with lacrosse and hockey and wrestling, a lot of people are siblings. A lot of siblings play those sports, and they generally follow in like their parents' footsteps or something. So I find that a lot with lacrosse, you have a lot of siblings. All right, let's go on now to some boys' side. We got to talk about this around the court.
What a game. Holy cow.
Might have been the most interesting end to a game I've seen in any sport. Because what happened in the last 32 seconds is crazy work. So let's set the game up. Go ahead, set the game up, Gerard.
Well, shout out Z.
Z705 covered this game for us. As you can tell, always tell, because his quality of equipment is crazy. He's a big lacrosse and hockey guy. Yeah. No one does better at lacrosse and covering lacrosse and hockey than Z705, okay? So Z covered this game. We were actually present, but it was raining like crazy. You can't tell, but it was raining. So we were in the booth while Z was covering this game. Set this game up, Gerard, because it started first with around the court being in control, then Canandaigua, come on, set this game up.
They came out and scored right away. They were up 3-1.
3-1, and the first.
I think they
3-1 in the first quarter.
And then they went up 4-1, and then it was Canandaigua. They
scored 6 straight goals.
Yeah, they scored 7 of the next 8 goals.
Yeah,
so they were leading 8-5 late in the game.
When I say late, Shard, it was in the 4th quarter, under 2 minutes. So now this is me. First of all, we all went in Canandaigua, y'all. It is freezing. Wet, freezing. It was 28 degrees. So I'm up in the booth. So I said, you know what? It's 2 minutes to go. Let me start walking down so I can get prepped for the interview. So in my head, I started prepping. What am I going to ask Canandaigua? Blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, I'm going to ask them this. Max Equal had 2 goals. So in my head, I'm getting prepared to do the interview. Kaden Jalise had 2 goals. Patrick Ovani, blah, blah, blah. I'm ready, right? Walk down there in the freezing cold. When I say cold, around the court scored. So I came down. It was 2 minutes to go. They up 8-5. The game over. It's done. A minute left. It's still 8-5. Game over. 32 seconds to go. Ironically won the face-off and scored right away. I said, that's interesting. 8-6. It's okay.
Yeah, 32 seconds.
32 seconds.
They scored 5 goals in the whole game, and now they got 32 seconds left to score 2.
So I said, it's not going to happen. Next thing you know, they won the face-off again.
That's why face-offs are so important.
20 seconds to go, they scored again. It's 8-7. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. I said, but they're still, Canandaigua's still fine. It's okay. There's only 10 seconds to go. It's fine. They won the face-off again. Hank Velopek, got the ball to Colin Giudice. 3 seconds to go, they tied the game. I said, in 32 seconds, they scored 3 goals. That's how gritty Irondequoit is. Man, I was upset. Because now remember, it is 20-something degrees, so I'm thinking...
I knew you were mad.
I was mad too, right? Man, I was big mad,
We're
right?
not mad that Irondequoit.
No.
We're mad that it goes into overtime.
Now it's in overtime, and them last minute took 5 minutes, so I'm cold, right? They got the face-off in overtime. No, they didn't.
Canandaigua got
the face-off, and they played some good defense. Irondequoit got that ball back. Boom, Hank Velopek in overtime. 2:47 to go. In overtime, they got the win. That was the most amazing ending to a game that I've seen. And Irondequoit, they kind of always been like that. They're really gritty team. They got a Cooper Moore. Well, you played football against him. So Cooper Moore is he's a 3-sport athlete. Cooper.
I was going to say, Irondequoit's, both teams are full of football players.
Yeah.
But that Irondequoit team, they have the heart of their head coach of the football team. And he treats his track kids like that. Everybody walks around. That coach is good. So I'm not surprised Irondequoit came back.
They get back.
Bunch of athletes.
Bunch of athletes. There are track guys. There's football guys on that team.
No, you never thought about playing lacrosse?
I believe it or not, my parents tried to get me to play lacrosse. My cousin Rhea Davis, she went to Russian Rieta.
Yeah, went to Russian Rieta. She playing at the collegiate level.
Yep,
yeah,
she was at UConn. I was actually at one of her games before. She's actually really good. But lacrosse, I always thought lacrosse was an interesting sport. It's a combination of so many sports in one.
Yes, it is.
So that's why it's like really unique. That's how I feel like.
You know what? I always say this. So I started a lacrosse program at UPrep, right? 3 summers ago. Because I think that if you put lacrosse sticks in young Black and brown males' hands and introduce them to the sport, nothing is wrong with football, nothing is wrong with basketball. Don't get me wrong. Right. We got to give our kids more options, especially the kids in the city, right? And I'm a big proponent of, some people are going to be like, they're going to bring that up and like Karen is whatever. I just believe in giving our kids more options because, and we'll talk to you later on about your choices, what schools you're going to be going to at your next level. But we've covered a lot of signings. Richard has covered a lot of signing over the last 5 years, Gerard. And there's more lacrosse signings than football, basketball, track combined.
Yeah.
Combined.
Yeah.
And I said, well, we're leaving money on the table.
Mm-hmm. East High School had a couple kids.
Yes.
What's that program? There is a program in the city.
Rocky Six. London Booker. Yeah, he's tried.
He works hard.
He works hard at it.
He works hard.
But it's a very expensive sport, Rashad. Mm-hmm. It's a very expensive sport. Off season is very important. Some of these sticks are like $300-400.
Yeah.
Like $300-400 for the stick. We have a lot of sticks that we've collected because we know we didn't get funding for the program. I'm gonna go on. I got my little mic. I'm gonna go off on that. We wrote a grant. We wrote a grant for this. We've been getting the money for this for 2 years. This year, they didn't give us the $15,000 to run the program because when we applied to the state for it, they said because it was exposing, in my grant, it says exposing Black and brown males to the game of lacrosse from the city. That's literally in our grant because it's the truth. They rejected it, saying it was DEI related. Yeah. And we cannot fund it anymore. They funded it. It was very successful, but they said it was DEI related and we cannot fund this anymore. Although we had 40 kids, we had what's the professional lacrosse team in Rochester name again? Oh my gosh.
Nighthawk?
Nighthawks, yeah.
Yeah.
They were coming out, bringing professional players, teaching the kids. Mm-hmm. We employed 19 actual lacrosse players from Section 5 from every school, Hilton, Irondequoit, Cooper Moore worked for us. Mm-hmm. And the goal was to get lacrosse to cross color barriers, race barriers, right? To show that kids could work together.
And then have suburban and urban kids interact with
with
each other
in a
and-
positive environment. For $15,000, that program will not exist this year, the first time, because they said it was DI. But I'm gonna get off my soapbox before they cancel me. Okay. But Irondequoit came up with the 9-8 win. Congratulations. This was an overtime win. But for Canandaigua, Max Ekdahl with 2 goals. Caden Galais with 2 goals. Patrick O'Vane had 2 assists. Quentin Shedrick. No, can I tell you?
I was going to tell you about him. I was just looking him up.
He elite. He elite.
The goalie.
The goalie for Canandaigua is so good. I mean, when I say he's so good.
The game really should have never came down to that because they should have had like 20 goals. Irondequoit should have had like 20 goals.
But he made so much stops, man. He was so good, man. I mean, very impressive.
He made 3 great stops.
In a row.
In 30 seconds. It was crazy how good he was.
You know, so, but Hank Velopek scored the winning goal. Also finished off with 2 goals and assists. Colin Giudice, which is Jake Giudice's cousin. He had 3 goals and 1 assist. Dylan Carey, he's also a wrestler, like elite wrestler. Dylan Carey with 1 goal. Matt Long was 14 for 18 from face-off. I thought that's about 78% from face-off. And Colin Lendrigan had 13 saves in goal this game. So congratulations, Irondequoit on the win. Then we're gonna go to the opposite end now. Pittsburgh versus Hilton. Now, can I say? No, you know what? Let me go to. Let me first say this. Rain. All of that was going on this game. Gerard, talk about this game. It was wet. It was miserable.
That's
for
like
Pittsburgh
every
versus
game, it seems like, oh my goodness.
This game though was miserable.
Yeah.
Personally, Shard, I was in the car. I was in the car. My hair too cute. I was in the car. Gerard was sending me the goals. He was wet. I was in the car. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. Gerard, so tell the story. I know you're gonna tell it. Go ahead. He was upset. Go ahead. I know you're gonna tell. I know you're gonna.
It's the same thing as last week. I'm in the rain, the cold. My hands are like on my iPad, like this, all freezing.
He's shaking.
And the whole game.
The whole game.
Cold. And then she comes in from the car with 2 minutes left. Oh, Primetime's here.
The kids start going crazy. Oh my God, Primetime here. Gerard turned around and says, I've been here.
But that was in the stands because my Pittsburgh girls,
they
appreciate me. Those are my girls. Oh, but this was the boys.
So Pittsburgh versus Hilton. Can I say Hilton has a very strong lacrosse program? Pittsburgh got a very strong lacrosse program. At the half, however, Pittsburgh scored, and the kid from East is now Moriani, is now at Pittsburgh. Great, he was playing lacrosse at East.
Yeah, he went there last
year.
No. He came over to Pittsburgh last year.
Yeah. And he scored the first goal. He had 2 goals this game. I like that kid. Max Morgenstern had 3 goals this game. Jack Healy had 2 goals. Avery Valenti, who is talented, also with 2 goals. Grant Lewis with 3 goals, 2 assists. Trevor Nally, I've said his name countless times because he's a basketball player also. He's a 3-sport athlete, I believe. 1 goal, 2 assists. Bear Wareheim, that's his real name, y'all.
Bear.
No, that's his real name. Like, his dad named him with all his chest. Like, my son about to play something where he gonna have to be grinding. Cause when you name your kid Bear, Bear, you do that with, I love it. Like, I love the name, right? He did that with some purpose.
I remember an old episode of WKRP in Cincinnati.
You're old.
The old folks know what I'm talking about.
That's old, y'all. But
this guy came it was around a radio station. The guy came into the radio station and he said, my name is Stone Phillips, or whatever his last name is. And I said, wow, Stone? He said, yeah. My parents believed that, a name represents you, what you will be like. What's your name? Les.
That's actually funny. That's actually funny. But I like Bear's name. Bear had 9 saves. Yeah. For Hilton, Michael Chirella had a goal. Tyler Rieger, also a football player, right?
Yeah.
With 2 goals and 2 assists. Kyle Taddeo with a goal. Anthony Mitrano with 1 goal. Logan Cady with a goal. And Kalen Smith. We know I find that with lacrosse, a lot of lacrosse players are also, especially at smaller schools, there are a lot of them are football players also. So congratulations, Pittsburgh. They got the 15-7 win over a very, very, very good Hilton team. Now, we're going to go backwards. Remember we were talking about Irondequoit and how they beat Canandaigua, who's good.
Yeah.
Now, Pittsburgh played Irondequoit a couple days ago. So this game was also covered by Z705. Pittsburgh gave Irondequoit their first loss, 20-10. And as you could see from the quality, Z did the thing.
And you can see how terrible the weather is too, man.
Pittsburgh was up 13-6 at the half. They just got a lot of weapons. Avery Valenti was in his bag. 6 goals, 2 assists for him. Grant Lewis had 4 goals, 3 assists. Max Morgenstern with 3 goals. Trevor Nally with 2 goals, 2 assists. Cole Getz with 1 goal, 3 assists. Luke Judson had his first varsity goal. Keegan Jacob, once again, face-off matters, was 14 for 17 from face-off. If you don't have the ball, you cannot win, and he's one of the elite in Section 5. Irondequoit's Kieran Stenzel with 4 goals, Colin Giudice with 2 goals, Hen Velepek with 1 goal, 1 assist, Cooper Moore 3 goals and assists, and Dylan Carey with 2 assists. But Pittsburgh is just elite. But 30 goals in one game is crazy work. 20-10 was the final. That's crazy. That's a lot of editing Z had to do. But congratulations.
30 goals in 60 minutes. That's crazy.
That's crazy. All right, before we get to Noah, let's do some baseball real quick. So we kicked off baseball this week. Leroy versus York Pavilion. Mm-hmm. So York Pavilion is now a combined team, and they just combined, I think, like 3 years ago, because they used to be rivals, and they became one team. But can I talk about these coaches first? Can I get messy? I'm going to get messy, y'all. I'm about to get messy.
Why?
I'm about to get messy because this is a divisional game, y'all.
So they're rivals.
So they're bitter rivals. There's rivals and there's bitter rivals, right? So we didn't know there was something going on, and these coaches was going back and forth during the game. First of all, I love the energy. I'm messy, so I like competition. They were going back and forth. The other coach said, he never liked me. No, I never liked you. I love it. I was like, listen, can I say I'm here for all the messiness, okay? This gonna make me cover more of their games.
When do they play again?
Yo, they were messy, but I love it. So it's a Livingston County divisional matchup. Leroy 10, York Pavilion 2. Leroy only got 10 players on their team, one of which is an elite golfer. Yeah. So they only got like 9.5 players on the team because he plays both, right? Just about everybody contributed to this. Brady McClung pitched 4 1/3 shutout innings. Drew, talk more about this baseball game because this is your sport.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, pitched 4 1/3 shutout innings. He struck out a batter with the bases loaded, and at the plate, he singled, had an RBI triple, and scored 3 times. Jude Christ had 2 RBIs and scored 3 times. Mm-hmm. He also came on in relief with the bases loaded and 1 out and struck out both batters. Simon Green with the RBI double and scored a run. Jagger Smith added a hit. And how about Cam Wilson? He had an RBI.
I think Cam Smith is his name.
No, that's what I wrote, but it's Wilson.
Wilson, okay.
Yep. He had an RBI single, and he made a great diving catch in right field with runners on second and third when the game was still, kind of close, 4-0. And, it's to end the inning. And, they played great defense. Jeremiah Sheehan also made a big defensive play from third, throwing a runner out at the plate on a ground ball.
Yo, when I tell you that there's nothing they could do to stop Leroy, and the girls won too. The Leroy girls shut out the York Pavilion girls 8-0. So I was able to interview both teams. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Leroy, man. As I said, they're a tiny team. They don't have any error. One person can't even be like. Drew, I got a question. How do they practice? So in baseball, right? So in baseball, they set up various scenarios, right? Yeah. If this person's on the short side, so how do you practice with exactly? Yeah. How do you practice with the exact amount of players in baseball? I'm just curious.
I don't know because, like you said, there's so many variables. Mm-hmm. Okay, if there's a guy on second and third, and there's 1 out. How do you position the guys? If there's 2 outs, I mean, there's a lot of so many variables. Is he a power pitcher? Can this guy hit a curve? So you got to prepare different
scenarios, but I don't know how they do it with the exact amount of players though. Yeah. So that's impressive. They don't have a lot of room for error at all. Yeah. If that kid got a golf game, they're done. They are done if they got a golf game. Yeah. But so So first of all, congratulations to Leroy. Boys and girls got that win. So I'm going to make an intro real quick, and we're going to bring in Coach Johnson for his segment with Coach Johnson. Gerard is going to get up while we do this with Coach Johnson. So let me introduce Noah Collins Howard. So this name must sound familiar to a lot of you guys because Noah Collins Howard was also on our Elite Award for Citizen of the Year a year and a half back.
Yep.
A year and a half back. So he was our Citizen of the Year. And Noah, man, got some big good things going on. So first of all, shout out your family. Your dad is amazing. Your family is amazing. Rashard, this is Rashard Summer. Rashard said, my guess is going to be Noah Collins Howard because we got a lot of stuff going on. So you guys know Rashard. Rashard's been with Primetime for 5 years. And Rashard, man, listen, can I talk about, you've been getting these great guests, man. You've been getting these great guests. I mean, last time, you're bringing in some power hitters. Talk about Noah Collins Howard because this is big time guests in studio.
Yeah, I would love to sit here and tell you all of his accolades. But Noah, first I want to thank you. A couple weeks ago, I had your brother, Rohan, in here, Sigma Beta brother. Talk about that Sigma Beta connection. How does Sigma Beta get you guys together as youngsters?
Sigma Beta is all about brotherhood. Seeing you and my father and the fraternity, it shows how an actual man should actually be. I went on camping trips with you guys. Me and Ro went on camping trips with you guys and learned how to set a fire. So it's basic life skills like that, and just learning how to become a young man.
Yeah, and speaking of being a young man, you've done so much this past year. Let's start with football season. So you had a big change this year. Yeah. How's the transition been going education-wise at your new location?
Education-wise, I had to get used to it. It was definitely different from private to public. I would say, especially in the summer, I had to go to Fairport High School for summer school so I could take Regents because at Aquinas we didn't do Regents, we did finals. So I had about 3 tests I had to take. I passed all of them. So that finally was maybe eligible to play. But other than that, the transition has been pretty smooth. So. And
what I gotta ask, Ro left his senior year. What made you decide to go to Rush Henrietta?
Yeah. It was a little bit of drama going on. I would say Rush Henrietta always had open arms for me. It's my hometown. I've been to Rush Henrietta since I was in elementary school. The kids there always welcome me. I would say the coaches. I knew DeMay, the track coach. I knew DeMay there from youth track and field programs I used to go to. And it just was a perfect fit. It was close to home. I grew up with everybody who was there, football-wise and track-wise, so it just felt right.
And I know I wanted to ask you what was the toughest decision, but shout my guys out from Aquinas on your track team. I'm seeing you come out, you break the record on one day, and the next day you're at sectionals cheering those guys on. How did that feel? I know that was one of the toughest reasons, so I'm going to give you the answer. But talk about those guys.
Yeah, Santino, Akeem, Corey, all those guys. I was on a 4x1. We missing one. He lives in Italy. He was a foreign exchange. Felipe. They important to me. Track wise, we definitely became close because of track. We still talk to this day. Every single day in our group chat, we texting about meets that's coming up. I was planning on visiting their track meet. And that's one thing I always like to do is give back and always show support to the people who obviously supported me also.
And Santino came off that 600-meter win, and when he seen you, he pushed his brother to the side, hugged you. That's your guy.
Yeah, that's my guy.
What do you expect to see from him this year in outdoor?
I know he's definitely he's definitely gonna do his thing in sectionals for the 400. He fell short. I know he's been using that as motivation last year. I know Akeem's gonna do his thing. I know they're gonna continue the great 4x1 even without me. I know they're gonna do good. But I know Santino's gonna do his thing for sure this year.
Shout out Coach Dixon. Hopefully
Yep,
that
Coach
4x1
Dixon, yep.
drops the baton so East Rochester can win. But yeah, Coach Dixon, he's one of our mentors. I love Coach Dixon. I know he hated to see you go.
Yep.
But speaking of Coach Dixon, he's one of the people who believed that you can do
Yep.
it.
Yep.
You spoke earlier about your cousin who plays lacrosse, but you also had an aunt, Derisha Davis, Hall of Famer in Section 5. The record that you broke, she was around during that time.
Yep.
Do you talk to her anytime before any
Yep.
big races? How's Derisha doing?
Derisha's doing great. I would say my mom and Derisha and the other sister Indigo, they talk every day. Like I never seen such siblings who talk this much. Like it's every day nonstop they're on the phone. I'm just like, wow, it's kind of impressive. But Derisha, she always supports me. She sends me good luck messages, congratulation messages. She always gives me tips. Because she was an elite runner herself, and she knows the sport really well, so I definitely trust her.
And she is getting inducted into the Penfield. Shout out to Sheffield, one of your summer coaches. He's getting Derisha inducted into the Penfield Hall of Fame this summer during one of the this spring season. So I'll make sure we're all there for that. But speaking of that record again, now let's talk about the record. Did you know about the record beforehand? Were you focused on it? What was going on?
So I knew about the record. Like I've been thinking about the record for a while since the first very meet when I opened up with it like 6'4". I knew I was capable of doing it. I just had to get in the right mindset. So I think once I ran 6.33 at Jack Reed, that's when I knew I was definitely capable of doing it. After I would say the prelims of state qualifiers, when I opened up with a 65, I knew immediately that record's gonna go down today.
Wait, you knew the record could go down?
Yeah.
We walked past each other. You know, I always bother you at the track meets. I'm telling you, Noah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about time. You say, I got it, Unc. I'm going to just go out here and just finish the race. We said, you only got to get top 2, Noah. You don't got to go out here and pull a hamstring. We only need top 2. You run.
He's a competitor.
You come out in the finals. Your dad's up top recording. Walk me through that race.
I'll walk you that race.
So, it was a false start first, wasn't it?
It was 3 or 4 false starts. So
wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But first things first, I like to break down a race. So before anything, I like to warm up. Like I always have to have a great warm up. I like to perfect everything in my warm up. So when I come to race, I'm race ready. All I have to do is worry about holding my form and finishing strong. Prelims opened up with a 6.35. I felt confident. I just knew I got to stay warm. Finals came. I was in the blocks. Gun went off 2 times. I was like, oh, somebody false started. Okay, we can just relax. Then it happened 2 more times. And I was like, what's going on? Right? So I was like, all right. But believe it or not, it actually kind of helped me because I felt like when I first got out the blocks, I got out pretty slow. So it's like my adrenaline was pumping. So it really helped me. So as soon as I got out, I felt great. Like I was the first one out. I didn't feel nobody next to me or besides me. And I was driving out for about 20 meters. And I didn't rush my drive phase. I didn't rush anything. And I got up, just kept my knees up and kept form, finished. And at first, it took a little minute. I was like, oh, what's the time, right? So I'm thinking like, all right, it might be, actually, believe it or not, I wanted to run sub 6.3. I wanted to run 6.2. But I was waiting at the clock. I was just staring at it, making sure like, all right, this has to be a great time. I see 6.30 and I hear the whole crowd just get loud. And I was just like, wow. And then everybody was rushing me. Democrat Chronicle came to interview me. I had a lot of interviews. I interviewed with you.
We're the better ones. Sorry. I'm messy. I'm messy today.
Yep. But that definitely was really impressive. And actually, later, probably the next day, I get an email from Coach DeMay, and that time was actually 6.296.
Wow. So you were sub 6'3".
Yep.
So Rashad, can I just interject because he talked mindset. So I can I just interject a couple questions
Yes,
about
go
mindset?
ahead.
You
Take
sure?
it.
Okay. So you talk about mindset and getting ready, and you went through a whole plethora of what you do to get ready.
Yeah.
And track is like that, right? So anybody knows I don't mind doing track. It's just a lot going on there. So Rashard, you could have it all day, right? But there's a lot of routine, a lot of things that you guys go through. You talk about the mentality part. How do you balance the football, the track? When you talk about the mindset, how are you balancing all? You're not only a football superstar, you're a track superstar. Like, how do you balance that mentally?
Yeah. Mentally, you gotta have a mindset in your head that you have a goal that you want to achieve, right? So my goal for college is to also run track while I'm also playing football there. But when it's track season, I'm mostly focused on like my track.
Okay.
I do my football trainings with CTC. I do my football trainings with them. I get my workouts in. I get my lifting in.
But you really are in a track frame of
Yep.
mind during that time.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
And then when it's football season, I'm all football. I do some speed training, but when it's football, like you also gotta know how to transition your body, because football season, you want to be a little bigger, you want to be stronger, you want to have that mindset of, okay, I gotta go out there. You know what I'm saying?
So what does your training look like?
Yeah.
So you talk about, you said, to get ready for a race, I do this, my warm up, my mental, What does your training and the discipline look like that people wouldn't expect? So what's your training and what does that look like?
So you obviously have to do everything outside of regular practice.
Okay.
I try getting in a good lift about 4 times a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have football training. It's about 7:30 to 9:45 with CTC. And then
Shout out to
regular-
Greg Hopkins, yeah.
Yep, Greg Hopkins, yep. Greg Hopkins, Bruce Johnson, all those guys.
All those guys, yeah.
Yep. And then if I could get a nice recovery in on the weekends with I go to FMR.
Okay.
So I get a nice little recovery, and then obviously you have to eat well. So my nutrition is very important too. So
what gives you the mental edge over you're describing all of this stuff. Eliteness just doesn't happen. Right? That's what people don't understand. The discipline, everything what gives you the mental edge over some other athletes? And I know some people might say, well, is he being arrogant? No. You're talking about the routine. You're talking about your lifting, you're doing FMR, you're doing all of that stuff. It's because you have to work on your mind, your body, everything. You're talking about eating right. But what gives you the mental edge over other athletes?
Yes. So if I'm gonna be completely honest, I knew I was an elite athlete since I was young.
Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Be honest. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
So I've been running track since I was young. I was ranked nationally since I was young. Me and Ro was like the guys in Rochester since we were young. And then I would say you gotta want to be different. If you want to achieve a goal, you gotta want to be different. I'll say there's sacrifices you're gonna have to take. Like, you ain't gonna be able to hang out with your friends every day. You ain't gonna be able to play video games every day. Literally, all I do is school, training, eat, sleep, repeat. That's literally what I do every single day. So it's like, you gotta know the sacrifices you're gonna have to take if you want to be a great.
Instead that, I'm going to turn it back over to Rashad real quick because I want to ask this. What do you do on days that you don't feel motivated, though? Yeah. I mean, it seems like you're doing something with yourself, your body, whatever, 7 days a week to be elite, right? How do you motivate yourself on those days that you don't feel motivated? How do you motivate yourself?
Yeah. I would say personally, spiritually connected with God.
Okay.
Everything that I have, He gave me blessings. I have to return it. Thank God every day for everything He has given me. I would say also being in upstate New York, you don't get looks, and you don't get exposure, unlike people in the South, right? So it's like you have this goal that you want to be D1, you wanna be successful with sports, but you don't have the exposure, so you have to work harder than the people in the South. So doing extra workouts, stretching every day,
Eating right.
eating right. Exactly. It's all about recovery for your body and making sure your body is 100% recovered so you can go your 100%.
Rashard, I'm sorry to take some time. I had to talk about the mental part. I
Yeah,
didn't talk about
I
the mental
know.
part. My bad. Go ahead, Rashard.
And she's big on that mental. She's an engineer, so and she's always want to know what the mind's doing.
Exactly.
Last couple questions. We talked about some of the great coaches. Bruce, I love Bruce and his shades. I love that. We talked about Greg Hopkins at CTC. Seen some videos of some really good competition that you were playing with at CTC. But I know you worked a lot with MJ Fast.
Yep.
So he's giving you routes. He always posts everything about you.
Yep.
So let's get to it. I don't want to make the announcement. I know you've said it on social media, but we talk about signing day. Have you made any decisions about college? First, what schools have you been looking at and talking to, and what's your decision on your college career?
So first things first, I would like to thank every single school who has recruited me, starting with Buffalo, Temple, Boston College, Rutgers. But obviously, you guys probably seen social media. I decided to commit to Syracuse.
Okay. Snap.
Okay. Syracuse getting a good one. Okay.
So Syracuse, they were the first school to ever offer me. Ever since then, they've been bringing out the red carpet every single time I visit. They showed so
As
much
they
love.
should.
They've done everything. So I was like, hey, this is a school I want to go to, and this is where I want to get my education from. So I decided Syracuse.
Real quick, Rashard, in that case, Julio, can you cue up his video? Because he's going to Syracuse for football, right?
Yep. Football.
So he's going to Syracuse for football. So he's a track athlete, holding record, all that stuff. But he's going for football. Let's cue up some football stuff. Let's see what he looks like. Go ahead, cue that up, Julio. Yeah, we got to show. Look what here. Look at him.
Yeah. I had one kid tell me I had him right in my grasp.
Yeah.
I broke down. As soon as I was about to tackle him, he ran around me, and the news stations put it on. He said, "Come on, Coach Johnson, get that down." But Syracuse, a great decision. I know Mo was so excited. I seen him request that you get number one. Have you made a decision on the number or?
I didn't decide any numbers yet. First things first, I just want to, stay connected with the team there. They've been showing me love. Coach Fran, such a great guy, such a great coach. He's a great guy outside of football. Coach Gaddis, the receiver coach. He's the new receiver coach this year. I remember I didn't have any contact with him because he was the new receiver coach. I remember I visited probably a couple months ago. I exchanged contact, and we've been in contact ever since. And that's one thing that really stuck out to me with Syracuse is the communication and them being completely honest of what type of player they see me as. And I also like to thank Coach Ambrosi, who's also there. He also gets exposure for people down in upstate New York who doesn't have that type of exposure. And Coach Ambrosi definitely helped me with that. So.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
Rush Henrietta was so good last year, right?
Yeah.
What would it mean to you to win a football championship with Rush Henrietta as you did with your brothers at Aquinas?
Yeah. It would mean a lot, I'll say, because the kids, my teammates at Rush Henrietta, I grew up with them since I was 5, I'll say. And winning a championship with them would definitely mean a lot. I know those guys, especially last year, we fell short. Especially the captains, Ronan Walker and all those other guys. It definitely used motivation for us this year because we don't want to fall short on our senior year.
Right.
So winning a championship with them would mean a lot.
Go ahead, Charlie. You can close it out.
I want to close it out. I got one last question for you. You are awesome. I love the way that you said the same thing as Rohan, where it comes down to your drills and being precise.
Right.
You guys do it with a purpose. I want all track kids to understand that you don't just do the drills because your coaches tell you to. You do them for a purpose. Yep. Same thing. You see this, what a coincidence, two of the best we have gave us the same answer. Yep. But last question I got for you. I want to thank you for coming on. Shout out to your whole family. You got a media team on your own. After you finish this question, you got to shout your brother out. He's the most humble person I know. Last question I got for you. Finish this sentence. Nobody believed I could. So go ahead.
I'll say nobody believed I could play Division I except me, my family, and God, I'll say.
That's a powerful answer.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a powerful answer. So, Noah, I mean, and we have around Section 5 area. We're going to come back to you because we're going to go to Gerard's pick. But real quick, before we even shut down this segment, what would you tell future younger, like a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old about the recruiting process, representing yourself? Because one thing I notice is your social media is clean.
Yep.
You don't get into any nonsense. You're not into any drama. You're not out here doing... So talk about that part, because your dad seems very pivotal in that area. So talk about that. I gotta give him about a minute to address that, because that's my biggest pet peeve about kids' social media and going to the next level.
Yeah. You have to be very disciplined. You gotta keep your circle small. You never know who could actually, like, they could say they're your friends, but they could switch up immediately, right? So keep your circle small, I'll say. Grind. Trust God. And when you're looking for a school, look for where you could fit and continue your journey, not where
they might look good or sound good.
Right, just because of what they say, right? So I'll say, keep grinding, trust God, work hard, and school first.
As I said, I love the fact that while I'm watching you, you're a 17-year-old kid. So while I'm watching you, you're thankful to God, but you're also thankful for your community. You shouted out Rashard. You thanked him. You thanked Coach Sheffield, who's crazy as heck on social media. That's my guy, though. Coach Sheff is my guy. Like, he's different. That's literally my guy, though. Like, he's hilarious. But you thank Coach Sheffield. You thank Coach MJ. You thanked your coaches, Bruce and CTC. You didn't make it seem like you did it on your own.
No, absolutely not.
That tells a lot about you and your mental, because you're like, I had a lot of help. I was surrounded by a lot of greatness. That's how I got here, Division I, to go to Syracuse. Exactly. And that tells the kind of person you are. We're going to come back to around Section 5 with him. But let's go to
you're going to be all right in life.
Man. Yeah, he's a kid.
Everybody's got a future. You have a tremendous future.
Yeah. We're going to come back to Gerard's pick real quick. So Gerard's pick. Go ahead, Gerard. Who's your pick, Gerard?
Is Teddy Carl from Brighton Lacrosse. Yo, this dude scored 12 goals in a game.
And 1 assist. That's a Section 5 record.
Yeah. And he's only in 9th grade.
So Gerard's pick is Teddy Carl of Brighton Lacrosse. 12 goals, 1 assist, which is 13 points. It's the most in Section 5. So congratulations to Teddy. You are Gerard's pick. That's amazing. So I'm sticking with lacrosse for my pick, Gerard. My pick, Karen's pick, is Grayson Hathaway of Penn Yan Lacrosse. Let me tell you about him. He's a 10th grader at Penfield. At Penn Yan, sorry, at Penn Yan.
Yeah, I remember this guy.
He's a face-off specialist.
Yeah, he is.
Big guy.
Yeah.
Big guy. He's a face-off specialist. But he does a lot of, he's a part of Honor Society. I like to give the other part of kids, right? He's a part of the Honor Society. He's a natural helper, nominated by his peers as a leader, dedicated to helping other students. He's also in the band. He's plays trumpet. Like, talk about being an all-around person. 7th grade, he was playing varsity since 7th grade. He's, that's the first varsity 7th grader since 1989 for Penn Yan. And Penn Yan Lacrosse is elite, y'all. Yeah. They are elite.
For years.
For years.
And years, yeah.
This week, you know what he did? Over 600 face-off wins he did on the
Career, wow.
He's in 10th grade.
Holy cow.
600. He's already at 600 career face-offs.
Like 300 in the career is great.
Great,
right?
yeah.
Wow.
Right? Selected to 2026 Upstate All-American team. And he was a first team, all-section first team. Broke the New York State record for face-off wins in a single season as a freshman.
Wow.
New York State's a big school. Yeah. As a ninth grader, he broke the New York State. So when I say this kid, he's like, Penny and Deep Down is one of my favorite teams to cover. I love their vibe. They are such a small town with an elite program, boys and girls, elite lacrosse programs, okay? People like this, man, she really love her lacrosse. I do. I really do. But Grayson Hathaway is the Primetime 585 Karen's pick, and he is on his way to probably 1,000 by the time he graduates. Yeah. He's at 600, and the season just started.
Yeah.
I think they're only 2 games in.
So he's really got 3 years left. 10, 11, 12.
Technically, right. He's going to get there. So Grayson Hathaway, now with 600 career face-off wins as of yesterday. Congratulations, you are Karen's pick.
And let me just say that he's also a member of the 4-H Society.
Oh.
And that's the largest youth development organization in the United States. They do STEM research projects and things like that. And he was the 4-H'er of the year.
Wow. So this guy's, listen, he's one of those, he's like another version of my guy over here. So Noah, we got like a...
Yeah, definitely keeps him in everything.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that. So we got a minute and a half left, Gerard. Noah, you were the Primetime 585 Citizen of the Year. Tell the people why we selected you when you became the Citizen of the Year.
So, going back to Sigma Beta, we like to give back to the community. So my family and some of my dad's frat brothers, we traveled down to Ghana, and we donated a borehole for fresh water in villages. So they have fresh water there. They didn't really have fresh water in Africa. So we made it more convenient for young girls to go now
to school, because the girls would be one that would go get the water.
Exactly.
So you guys getting the borehole together and all of that stuff made it possible for more girls to go on to be educated.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we did, and I'm definitely grateful. I want to go back down there for sure to see how's everything's going, but definitely love that trip.
Do you play any instruments?
I used to play trumpet.
I knew it.
See what I'm saying? All around. Yeah. Well, in that note, first of all, shout out to our producer, Julio. Shout out to Julio. And, of course, in studio, thank you, Noah Collins Howard. He is going to D1 Syracuse for football, but he's also a track superstar. And Rashard is in the house. And, of course, the luckiest man in Section 5, Coach Iglesias, because he's got me. That's all, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 On Demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.